It's 1:30. The October 18th, 2010 meeting of the Oklahoma City Traffic and Transportation Commission meetings called to order. Jim Witcher.
Present.
Dan Martin.
Here.
Walter Kula.
Here, sir.
Harvey Harris.
Here.
James Schuline.
Here.
Jolene Pittman.
Present.
John May.
Here.
Milford J. Clayton. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 20th meeting?
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Clayton, seconded by Commissioner May, to approve the minutes from the November 22nd meeting. Further discussion? Could I have your votes, please? Approved unanimously. Thank you. Item number 3 is the report on licensed taxi and wrecker services. Sergeant McCaleb.
Sergeant Mark McCaleb with the Vehicle for Hire Office. During the last quarter, we processed 61 new driver's permits. We renewed 108 permits and had 22 transfers. Most of those were drivers transferring to the new taxi company that was just started, the Thunder Taxi. We inspected 55 taxis and vans. Out of that 55, 6 failed. Most of those were for minor things such as tail lights, bald tires. Those were corrected and received a decal. We inspected 28 limousines with no failures. We investigated 12 complaints. Most of those complaints were driver-on-driver complaints that stemmed from cutting in front of each other in taxi lines, but there were no allegations of misconduct to citizens. We completed 7 enforcement actions. Those were drivers that were found in those incidents to be doing something wrong. They were either suspended or some kind of action taken towards them. D&D Carriages received 2 tickets. That stemmed from an incident that was also at an open carriage location. That matter's set for municipal court later on this week. But that was one driver signing a citation against another driver and vice versa. And that's all we had last quarter.
Thank you, Sergeant. Questions of any of the Sergeant from any of the Commissioners? Thank you again.
Thank you.
Item number 4 is the consent docket. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion for approval.
I would second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Harris, to approve the consent docket. I would like to make one note that item number 4 is for a continuance to the November meeting. I'm sorry, 4A is for a continuance to the November meeting. Further discussion? Get your votes, please. Motion to approve, unanimous. Item 5 are the items for individual consideration. If there's anyone wishing to speak before the commission, if you'd fill out one of these blue forms, if you haven't already, thank you. Please limit your talk to 5 minutes. Item number 5A, the applicant is Charla Lindley, Principal, Messiah Lutheran Church, 3600 Northwest Expressway, Oklahoma City. The request is to consider establishing a school zone on North Portland Avenue between the Northwest Expressway, State Highway 3, and Northwest 58th Street for Messiah Lutheran Church.
School.
I'm sorry, school.
They won't let me be in charge of the church, too.
Okay. If you'd state your name and address for the record, please.
Charla Lindley, and our school address is 3600 Northwest Expressway, Oklahoma City, 73112. Okay.
Go ahead. Yes, please.
First off, I just want to thank you for the report and the thoroughness. I could tell that someone had actually looked at the request and gone out and taken pictures and everything, so I do appreciate that. I just had a few points and a couple questions, actually. At the time that our school area was observed, they observed it on a Friday afternoon. That is not the big time of concern. Monday through Friday mornings from 8:05 to 8:20 is our mad traffic rush because school starts at 8:20. So that's when the traffic is the worst, and they're competing with a lot of the morning traffic going to work. So that was the only thing I kind of thought, well, on a Friday afternoon, you're right, the traffic is not a concern. Secondly, we do not have pedestrians, and if that is that the basis for a school zone? Because if that is the basis, then I shouldn't really say anything else probably. Our concern more was the safety for the students and the parents that are coming off of Northwest Highway going southbound on Portland. The turn to the school is just like right there, and people as they're turning, they're kind of just quaking in their boots that they can make the cross safely. So if a school zone wouldn't be appropriate, maybe a left turn lane or just something to kind of give them a little leeway to get into the school entrance. And that was it.
Could we have staff's report on this, please?
Okay, well, you've got all our comments before you. As Principal indicated, the reason why we didn't have a reason to recommend approval of the school zone is because these things are provided primarily to provide a safe passage point for school-age pedestrians.
Okay.
Especially if you've got a school crossing guard, for them to interrupt 25-mile-an-hour traffic, it's inherently safer, so to speak,
Right.
than it is to interrupt something that's moving at a higher speed.
Right. And we don't foresee having pedestrians. There might be one family that lives in that neighborhood over there, but it's too scary. I doubt they'd let their kids walk. So if that was the basis,
Okay.
then I can see where you came up with it. I didn't know if those were the only prerequisites that you could look at in determining a school zone or not.
Yeah, those are the primary ones. Now, it is possible that we could potentially look at, go out and do some morning observation and look at what your traffic situation is like with respect to providing some form of a left turn lane. It is rather close to the expressway, and there is a dual left turn lane that's on Portland to get onto the expressway.
Right.
And your entrance driveway is rather close to the end of that, so it's not to say that it may not be possible to look at something there, but we'll certainly take a look at it for you.
Thank you.
Any of the commissioners have questions for Ms. Lindley? Further discussion?
Well, based on staff's recommendation and basically the criteria set forth for school zones, and also staff's report stating that the school zone speeds could hinder people trying to exit and enter the school, I would agree with staff and vote for denial. Recommended for denial.
Could you put that in the form of a motion for me, please?
Yes, I make a motion to follow staff's recommendation for denial.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Witcher for denial of item 5A. Is there further discussion?
May I ask staff what other, when you say look into it, Stuart, what other opportunities might there be? Does anything present itself easily to help this situation?
As you approach from the north, as you're headed southbound on Portland, there's a striped, tapered area as Portland's starting to widen and transition into that dual northbound left turn lane. It may be possible for us to look at potentially if there's enough room to stripe a dedicated southbound left turn lane to give those patrons who are coming in, from the north, basically a place to wait out of traffic, because Portland's a rather busy road in that area. It's exceptionally busy.
And would to get that action going, Staff will investigate that now, but does Ms. Lindley need to make another application for?
No, because we'll go out and we'll make a morning observation, and if it makes sense to do, it'd be a function of a striping change.
Okay.
Now, if it requires more than that, if it requires roadway widening, then it'd be something I'd need to discuss with the Public Works Department, see what kind of construction funds are available or what's on schedule for any work in that area on Portland.
So if it seems feasible to do a restriping, something pretty simple, staff will just kind of take that, make that happen? Or
Yeah,
will
we
there
can
be
take care of that.
Great, thank you.
Further discussion? I have a motion to deny item 5A. Could I have your votes, please? Approved unanimously for denial. Item 5B, the applicant is Timothy W. Johnson, P.E., President of Johnson & Associates, Inc., 1 East Sheridan Avenue, Suite 200, Oklahoma City. The request is to consider the installation of a traffic signal at the intersection of North Chartel Avenue and Northwest 63rd Street. Mr. Johnson.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners. Tim Johnson with Johnson & Associates, 1 East Sheridan, Oklahoma City. We're here on behalf of the applicant. As your staff report summarizes, our office prepared a traffic study of the area immediately south of 63rd between Classen and all the way to the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad tracks to the east of Lee Avenue and south to approximately 59th Street. This is what the area that's being called the East Chesapeake Campus. As anybody that's been out there, you can see Chesapeake is growing east in that area, and they've already completed some structures along Classen from 63rd Street south to 60th Street. They have just recently completed a master plan, which includes more garages, parking garages, and office buildings that are summarized in your staff's report. We did determine that a signal at this location is warranted, but more importantly, there are approximately 5 property owners left in this area that are residential, and it's our client's desire to make sure that they have safe passage out of this area. And so we've committed to the neighborhood that we would move quickly and put this signal in as soon as possible to aid the neighbors that remain there. As construction goes forward, it's anticipated that Chartel will be 4-laned from 63rd Street south to I-44, which will, again, support the signal in this location. With that, I'd be happy to answer any further questions.
Could I have staff's summary, please?
All right, you've got our full comments in the report before you. As Mr. Johnson noted, the intersection satisfies 3 of the 9 warrants for the consideration of a traffic signal. Given the anticipated growth within the Chesapeake Corporation campus area south of 63rd Street, they've demonstrated the need for signalization, traffic control improvements at this intersection. So with that, we're recommending approval of the requested signal with the inclusion of intersection improvements as described in the October 11th letter sent to us by Mr. Johnson. And this would be all subject to Chesapeake Corporation bearing the responsibility for the preparation of the construction documents and for construction of the roadway improvements and the traffic signal.
And we do agree to that.
Do I have a motion?
I'll second.
I've already got a second. Sorry. I have a motion to approve item 5B with staff's recommendation by Commissioner Clayton, seconded by Commissioner May. Further discussion? Could I have your votes, please?
Thank you very
Approved
much.
unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Item 5C, the applicant is John Coleman, manager, Stonebriar Development, LLC, Post Office Box 30596, Edmond, Oklahoma. The request is to consider the installation of stop controls at the following locations in in the Stonebriar addition, Section 4 subdivision. Item 1, Crest Ridge Drive and Stonebriar Lane, installation of westbound stop control on Crest Ridge Drive. And item 2, Brookshire Court and Crest Ridge Drive, installation of eastbound stop control on Brookshire Court. Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
when you're all done, would you fill out one of these blue forms for us, please?
Okay, I apologize. I
And
didn't
she'll
know
have that. If you'd state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is John Coleman. I'm manager of Stonebriar Development, LLC, and we have no comments. We support the staff's recommendation.
Could we have staff summary, please?
At this point in time, these intersections would be suitable for use or for control using yield controls. As the level of development increases, it may be possible that future residents come back and will probably make requests for further traffic control changes, possibly stop signs. But at this point in time, yield controls are appropriate.
Do I have a motion on 5C?
I'll make that motion.
So,
I have a motion to approve with staff's recommendations for yield signs on 5C by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Pittman. Further discussion? Commissioner May, this is in your ward. Do you have any comments? Okay. If I could have your votes, please. Approved with unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Item 5D, the applicant is Greg Spar, 17508 Cranbrook Road, Edmond, Oklahoma. The request is to consider lowering the speed limit on Northwestern Avenue from 45 to 40 miles per hour from Northwest 164th Street to Northwest 178th Street. Mr. Spar?
Good afternoon. Greg Spar, 17508 Cranbrook Road, Edmond, Oklahoma. This is the first time I've ever been at one of your meetings, and it's nice to see a meeting start on time and run smoothly.
Thank you. Could we have staff summary, please?
You've got the full report in front of you. In this particular case, staff is recommending approval of the request as submitted since it will result in a consistent speed limit being posted on Western Avenue for the 3 miles between Northwest 150th Street and Northwest 192nd Street. In this particular area, there's a mixture of 40s and 45s on the street, and in the areas where you see the slower speed limits posted, there's usually some sight distance related issue, whether it's vertical terrain or horizontal view obstructions. And in this particular case, on the mile to the south, it's unlikely that it would ever pass at a speed posted other than 40 miles an hour. So in this particular case, the application to change this middle mile from 45 to 40 would be consistent with the rest of the traffic control on Western.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner May, seconded by Commissioner Pittman to approve. Is there further discussion?
Make a comment on this?
Absolutely.
This is a growth area in Ward 8 that there's a tremendous number of homes being built up in this northern Oklahoma City area south of Edmond, and there's a lot of homes that are available for sale if you're interested that are empty right now. But the key to this thing is how do we keep these roads safe up there with the influx of all these folks? And my reaction is one of the best ways to do it is reduce the speed limit. Best way. Because what we want to do is get people from A to B, those 2 points, wherever they're beginning and ending, safely. Not fast, not slow, but safely. So that's why I really thank you for coming out today and presenting this, but also strongly would solicit your votes in approval of this. Thank you.
Further discussion? Have a motion to approve. Could I have your votes, please? Approved unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Spark. That takes care of all of the items for individual consideration and takes us to item 6, which is comments from citizens. And I don't think we have anyone left out in the office that wishes to, in the gallery wishes to speak. That takes us to item 7, reports from traffic commissioners. Commissioner Witcher.
I have nothing new to report this month.
Thank you. Commissioner Martin.
I'm proud to announce that Northwest 23rd between Villa and May is open.
Wow.
The business, all 4 lanes.
All 4 lanes.
All
Not-
4
Not
lanes.
just open, but all 4 lanes.
Yeah, if we get, well, and now we can move forward with the lights, with the lighting. But anyway, it's very nice.
Thank you. Commissioner Kula.
No, sir, thank you.
Commissioner Clayton.
To our officer, on Sunday mornings, on Lake Hefner Parkway, could you slow us down, please?
Lake Hefner Racetrack.
We are on the way to church, and I'm very serious about this, Commissioner. Here we are, little grandma and grandpa, driving down in the Cadillac, and they're going, at normal speed, and they're just whipping in and around. We're not too reflective as to what should be going on around us. So just park one on under the bridge there someplace, now slow us down. Yeah. Please, I'm very serious on that.
He drives a Cadillac, okay?
Yes, sir, we'll take care of that.
Commissioner Harris.
I don't have anything personally myself. Young lady in the back from the Bricktown Association, thanks for coming today. All right.
Commissioner Schuline.
Mr. Chairman, maybe to Mr. Chai, I'm just curious, how many times do we have companies that come in and offer to pay for the improvements to the streets in their neighborhood?
Well, it happens on occasion. And in this particular case, the applicant has indicated on their master plan that they're going to be building a series of 3 parking garages on Chartel in addition to other office buildings. So it was really, it's as much a public investment as it is a private investment for them.
Commissioner Pittman.
Only those with a lot of money. And would like to say also, if you would please do the same on Northeast 63rd between Bryant and Sooner, where I live. It's very hard to get out of my driveway. When I first started on the commission, one of my neighbors came in and asked for a stop sign on 63rd and Coltrane. That was not a good idea. But I may go to her now and ask her to come in and ask for the speed limit to be lowered. I don't know whether that would be good or not. I see the lights on over there.
Well, we do have a pending application in that came from a church in that area. And one of the things they were looking at trying to get like a flashing warning signal. And I think really the underlying cause for them coming in was related to speed. So we've had a speed study conducted all along Northeast 63rd Street. And by the end of the year, we'll have an item here to look at more of a consistent speed limit change on 63rd Street.
Good. Is that from Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church, maybe?
Reverend Tucker?
Yes, that's
that
my
would be
church.
yes.
That's my church, so we're...
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Commissioner, or should I say Realtor May?
Realtor? No. Nothing like that.
Okay.
But there was a very good article, I mentioned it to Stuart, in this morning's paper as it related to why a citizen of the city would question how we're putting in stoplights, stoplights. And accordingly, the question was a good one, and it was answered by Stuart, and it's in this morning's paper about Southwest 134th and Portland. I'd ask you all to take a look at it because I think that's what we need to keep the rapport going, whether it be in the newspaper or just by getting a call. We got to answer those questions because the person asking the question had some meaningful insight as to why they felt like this doesn't make sense. But once Stuart explained it, it does make sense. And that's good. The second thing I had is I'm really grateful that the Paseo District has finally got the recognition that it deserves. My family and I have been supporting them since 1973 when we moved into Heritage Hills, and ultimately 20 years later left, so that's why I'm not in that district or that ward. But I learned a new business from my son, and that's tie-dyed T-shirts. Tie-dyed T-shirts. He would buy those things for $1, and he'd bring up these bright colors and roll them and wrap them and things like this and throw them back and forth. And then he'd go over to Paseo when they had their district, their area party, whatever it was, and he'd sell these things for $10 a piece. And I said, you know what? There's always a way to make a buck. But no, the Paseo area has been really good, and it brings out a lot of folks, and they finally got the recognition that, like I said, that they deserve. And I'm pleased and proud of them. Thank you.
I have one comment about streetlights. Funny you should mention that. Streetlights are reported on an exception basis to OG&E when they're burned out. And these are typically at intersections of streets, which they don't have any problem with because you know exactly where it is. You can give them the quadrant and so forth. What I have noticed are the streetlights along the interstate. I've done just a couple of counts, and out of 100, there may be as many as 20 streetlights burned out along the interstate highway system, and those fall to OG&E as well. So in your travels around the city, if you notice or see streetlights along the interstate system burned out, if you call OG&E and report that, they'll take care of those. So. Stuart, do you have any comments for the commission?
No, we've got nothing to add this month. I take that back. Well, you might take a look at the following items where we've summarized some of the actions where we've administratively installed parking controls and yield signs in residential areas. So those reports are provided for your information.
Okay. Ms. Jackson, comments? Lieutenant Freeman. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you.